Hey guys, I'm Alex Werbinski. I'm your host on TahoeToWhitney.com, the High Sierra Backpacker's Guide for the trails between Lake Tahoe and Mount Whitney. And you reach the snow camping section here. It's March 17th, 2010, and tomorrow I'm heading up to Lake Tahoe and I'm going to do a 4 or 5 day snow camping trip, and I want to talk to you about some of the fundamentals of setting up a snow camping trip here. And I think setting it up is one of the most important things. You've got your experience in the field, but your experience in the field is going to be conditioned by how you set up your trip before you leave. The route you set up, the time you give yourself to do that distance, the gear you bring to protect yourself against the elements, make sure you stay comfortable and capable, and then your food's going to be really important for maintaining your degree of pleasure during the duration of the trip. So that's first things first, is we're going to go through first the route. Now, my route's my route. You can do my route, I don't care. But you're going to do a route, so you got to ascertain the route. You got to know the route because you're going out in wintertime. And if you go someplace in wintertime, it's a lot different than it is in summertime. So you're going to want to probably go someplace, unless you're really experienced, you're going to want to go someplace that you have a good feel for during the summertime. And it's going to be completely different in winter, but that'll give you some extra ammunition, give you some extra experience there, so it keeps you from getting lost. Now remember, there's no trails, so all your navigation is going to be done by dead reckoning using the maps, landmarks, and your previous experience. So always good to begin your snow camping career in a place that you know, so you can continue your snow camping career. So my trip, you get on my route here, I'm going to come out of South Upper Truckee Trailhead in Myers in South Lake Tahoe, near South Lake Tahoe. I'm going to hike up to Round Lake and spend the first night there after 4 miles or so. The next day I'm going to do about another 7 miles up to Round Top Lake, which is exiting the Tahoe Basin, going a little bit southwest of Carson Pass and going up to the top of Round Top, where Round Top Lake sits. Third day, I'm going to re-enter the basin the way I came out, through the Carson Gap. Now check out the website, you'll see maps on this. That part of the website's all laid out. I'm going to re-enter the Carson Gap, and then instead of going back down to Round Lake, I'm going to head north to Showers Lake and spend my third night there. Then from Showers Lake, I'm going to head back down to Round Lake, which sits about 4 miles above the trailhead, and spend my fourth night there. So I got my route laid out. It has 4 locations where I'm going to camp. It covers roughly 25 miles, and so that puts me at like 6 miles a day. You know, not too hard, not too soft. It's depending on how soft the snow is and what kind of conditions I get, that could be really difficult or that could be really easy. If I'm looking at, now that brings us to our next topic here. You got your route, then the next thing you're going to have to think about is what kind of weather are you going to get. So when you leave, the longer your trip is, the more chances of the weather changing you have, and the more you want to give yourself extra added cushion to prevent any kind of freezing your ass or toes or your fingers is concerned. So now if you go to my weather section on my website, I have the most northern part of the High Sierras weather pages all mapped out. So what I did is I looked at the National Weather Service 7-day report off my site. I looked at some of the local stations that you can get real-time weather readings off my site. Refer to the Carson Pass weather map and you'll see the Snyder's Cow Camp weather reporting station. You'll see Caples Lake. And looking over those and the weather report for the future, I can see that it hit single degrees on March 13th. Okay, so it's still been getting cold up there. But now we've had a heat wave, so the snow's going to be soft, everything's going to be getting wet, so I got to consider, you know, the heat's going to affect the snow, slow down snow travel, because if you don't have a hard surface you sink in, that makes it very difficult. So kind of good weather can be a blessing, just as really bad weather can be, both can be a curse is what I'm trying to say. So it looks like it might be a little difficult, no big deal, but the temperatures have been high 30s, low 40s at night, mid-high 40s, low 50s during the day. So it's been real nice weather, but there's a cold front coming in on Tuesday, and that might come in early. So I'm not going to go for winter gear, the full winter pack for the dead of winter, no. I'm not going to go for spring gear because it's not really spring yet. Looks like what I'm going to go for is an intermediate mix, you know, the proper winter gear to protect me from the wet. You know, not as much about cold, but if the cold comes, I want to be ready. Not a full light spring gear, you know, I want to make sure I got the extra layers of insulation if the single digits and high winds pick up in the evening. Okay, so we got the route, we got the basic weather conditions determined, which helps us start, we'll get to the gear later, helps us start figure out what kind of gear selection we want to bring. And then the third thing is food. Okay, so this looks like a 4-day trip, but I always pack an extra day's food because if something does blow in, I get 2 feet of snow, that's really going to slow me down, and having that extra day of food will be, if I'm snowed in for a day, I'm cool. If the snow falls really heavy and I have, my mileage goes down to like, I don't know, a mile for every 2 or 3 hours, I'm still cool. So everything's cool. So I'm going to bring 5 days of food. I want to bring roughly 3,000 calories for each day. I want to figure out how much that's going to weigh, which, you know, I usually figure on 3,000 calories weighing roughly 3 pounds. I try to go for 100 calories per ounce and roughly 1 pound per 1,000 calories. So 5 days, that'll be 15 pounds of food put on with my extra gear, snowshoes, the extra layers of insulation that are required for snow camping. That's going to start bringing me up to like a 55, 60 pound backpack. So those are the basic considerations, and on the next section we'll get to your basic food, picking your food, getting high nutrition food, packing it properly both for space and for protection against the elements, because it, you know, might rain and you still want to eat in the rain. So that's the introduction to the Let's Go Camping in the Snow Camping in the High Sierra section. Al out.